Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ingrid and this is Ingrid Reads a Lot. For today's video, since I've been seeing a lot of Q1 wrap-up videos, I thought it would be fun, instead of just wrapping up every book I read in the first quarter, to tell you guys some superlatives. Why does that sound weird to me?
Superlatives.
Superlatives. And I'll tell you what the superlatives are. Alright, and then if you're obviously curious, I'm looking down because I have the list of books that I've read. The first one is going to be Best Overall, which is my favorite book of the quarter so far. And this includes January, February, and March. And let me tell you, I've been picky so far this year because I've read 29 books so far, which is not a lot. I've only given out 3 5-stars. That's pretty picky for me because usually I'm not as stingy, but I'm trying to be more active when rating books and not just rating like based on like and dislike, but other things like plot and character and storytelling, all these things. Now it's going to be hard to tell you which one is my favorite overall because obviously I like books for different reasons. But I think in my heart of hearts, if I were to pick one, it would be Defiant by Brandon Sanderson, which is the conclusion to the Skyward series. And I thought it was really well done. It's a sci-fi YA series. I am scared of endings of any kind because I feel like a lot of series, the last books are not the best. And I was extremely pleasantly surprised by this book, so that's going to be my best overall. All right, and then after best we have worst, obviously. Worst book of the quarter so far, and I have quite a lot of 2 stars, but not any 1.5 stars or 1 star. I'm gonna go with None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I gave this a 2.5 stars, and this book actually is my least favorite because it annoyed me to no end, and it had potential. And I think the beginning of this book, this is a thriller. The beginning of this book, you meet this woman that she's like sort of weird off the bat, and she meets this other woman at a restaurant and they're birthday twins. You can already tell that she starts becoming obsessed with this woman because she sees that they're both turning the same age, but that she's only with her husband, and this woman has a bunch of friends with her and they're all excited to be there celebrating her birthday. And she also finds out that she has a podcast where she interviews people, or women mostly, that have done amazing things. And so in the beginning of this novel, you're following this woman kind of becoming obsessed. It's good in the beginning, right? Like you're trying to figure out what the twist is and why she's doing this, and it's creepy, it's eerie. Like the author did a really good job. Oh my god, I almost dropped my computer. The author did a really good job making you feel uncomfortable in the beginning of this book. And the reason why this got a 2.5 stars and because why it's been one of my least favorite books this year is because, and this is kind of spoiler, so if you don't want to know, then don't watch the rest of this. We find out that this woman is married to a man that's like extremely older than her. I think they met when she was about 14, 15, and he's like 40 at the time. The woman is weird, and so she makes the girl she's obsessed with, she makes her think that it was an abusive relationship and that like he groomed her and all these things. And I'm saying this because that's what the book makes you believe. At the end of the book, you feel bad for this man because supposedly she kind of made up a bunch of things that weren't true, and you end up at the end of the book feeling bad for this man that chose to be in a relationship with the teenager that was like way younger than him. I just felt like that was unnecessary in the novel, and it made me like feel icky at the end of this because you just feel like you just feel bad because regardless of what this woman, like if this was real life, right, regardless of what this woman did and how she tried to manipulate a grown man, she was still 15 years old. And yes, like that's still illegal. I don't know, it just makes you like he's the adult. I'm sorry, but a 15-year-old should not be able to manipulate a 40-year-old man. Like the power imbalance is just not it. And so this book it killed me, like because it had so much potential. I really liked it. The author The writing of this author, like her writing style is amazing, and it makes you really feel like uncomfortable. And so maybe I'll give this author another try with another book, but this was not it. Like, I do not want to feel bad for, I'm not even going to say the word, but you know what I'm thinking, for the P word men, that this woman is crazy and she did all these things to him because he was 40. There's no way she should be able to manipulate you, sir. So that's why I really disliked this book, and I disliked it even more because I liked it in the beginning. So yeah, anyway, that's it. Least favorite of the quarter so far. Sorry, I changed the angle. I was like having technical difficulties. All right, next up we have most surprising book of the quarter, and that's something, and I say surprising in the sense that I didn't think I would like the book as much as I did. I could talk about a lot of books in this category. I could say is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas, because that was definitely a top 5 surprising book for me, because after disliking a House of, what is it called? House of Sky and Breath so much, I didn't think I was gonna like this, and I was pleasantly surprised. But I think we're gonna go with Never Lie by Frida McFadden, and this is another, I guess we're gonna talk a lot about mystery slash thriller books. This is another psychological thriller book that I picked up on a whim because it was on Kindle Unlimited. I've seen this author sort of pop up more since we've had like this book talk type thing going on, because she's, I think, popular on a lot of book talkers, because she writes these like very quick consumable thriller books, and I picked it up because it was on Kindle Unlimited. I'm like, I'll give it a try, right? I was so surprised how much I enjoyed this. They're so easy and so fast to read that I just was eating it up. I've read other things by her since then, and I still think this one is the best one. But basically, this couple gets stranded because they're looking for another house, and there's a snowstorm, so they get stranded in this house that they're going to go see. In the house, you find that a psychiatrist used to live there, or a psychologist. I think she was a psychiatrist. Doesn't matter. And she taped all of her sessions with her clients, which I don't think you're supposed to do unless you have permission from the client. I'm not sure how Massachusetts law works, but with HIPAA and stuff, I don't think you're supposed to be able to like record or film or whatever. Anyway, she did. And so the woman of this couple starts to listen to this tapes of this psychiatrist and her clients, and you sort of start to unravel this mystery because this psychiatrist is missing. So I really, really, really enjoyed this. I gave this a 5 stars because the whole time I was reading it, I did not see the ending coming, which is, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but like it's hard for me to find a book where I don't at least see one of the twists that are in the book, because obviously that's why I like to read mystery thrillers. I try to pick out what the twist is going to be. I don't know if other people just read it like just cuz just to enjoy it, but I'm the type of person that like anything I'm reading and watching that involves some sort of mystery, I like try to figure out what it is with clues that you're given. I was completely blown away by this, and I really enjoyed it, and it's a very quick, very fun read. So Never Lie by Frida McFadden is my most surprising book. And then next we have most disappointing book. And obviously this is something that I would have read and disliked thinking I was gonna like it. I think is gonna go to a book that I just filmed an unhaul for that is Throne of the Fallen by Karen Maniscalco. This is about the Prince of Envy. It's set in like a Victorian type London, but not really, because it's supposed to be fantasy. So I think you're just supposed to think that this is kind of like London, so you can picture it, but it's not. Envy is like a prince of hell, I think, of something like that. Our main character kind of gets entangled with him because they have to go on this like, there's like these games that they have to figure out all these clues that this other faking is trying to like trick them and stuff. And I don't love, to begin with, books that have like this type thing that's like a quest and you have to figure out the clues as to what's what, and you have to figure things out. I don't love that. But the beginning of this book was really funny and rich, like interesting. It was cheeky. I liked the world. And so I really enjoyed the beginning of this. And I was hoping I was gonna like the rest of it, and I didn't. Really didn't. Our character, Envy, is lying to the female main character. Okay, we're gonna get into spoiler territory, so if you don't want to be spoiled, then don't keep watching. But he lies to the main character a lot, right? Because his court is in desperation, right? And that's why he's in this game, because he wants to save his court. He needs her help to do it. I just don't like the fact that if he had asked her, I think the main character would have helped him, but he chooses to like lie to her. And at the very end of this book, there's a twist, which again, if you are intrigued by this, then they'll listen to what I'm about to say. But we find out that the main character, the woman, is actually Fae, and she's the daughter of the Fae King that's putting on these games. The Envy, his name is Envy, by the way. I keep saying Envy, and you think like, doesn't, no, his name is Envy. So Envy gets like really mad at the main character, and is like appalled by the fact that she was like lying to him. And I'm like, you've been lying this entire time to her. Like, we know you're not, like, you're lying because we're in your head, like, so we know what really is going on. And then he's like all surprised that she lied to him. I'm like, what? I don't know. I just didn't like the character of Envy. I thought he was like sort of obnoxious and self-centered. And like, I get it, your court is in disarray and you want to save people, but like, I think if he had just been honest with her, I think she would have helped him. But obviously then there would be no book. But you know what I mean? Or I guess you could. They just would be on the same side instead of like this enemies to lovers type thing, where the reason why they're enemies is because of miscommunication and you just lying to her. So I didn't love this. I was expecting to really enjoy it, and I didn't. So that's why I unhauled it, and that's why it's going to be my most disappointing of this quarter. Ooh, this one that I put on here is tough. This is favorite character / MVP of the quarter. I'm gonna have to think about that. I think this is gonna be like cheating, because it's not really well, I guess they are a character because they're in the book, right? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna drop things everywhere. If you don't know me, you should know that I quite enjoy people in books that are not people, right? Like, I like animals that are personified. I like objects that are personified and they tend to be my favorite characters in books. And for this quarter, I'm gonna give that to Bone Dog in Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, because there's a dog in this book that's made of bones, and he's the cutest dog on earth. Like, so sweet, so worried with our main character, and he's just made of bones, and she made him. And he goes on a quest with her along with other people. Sweet little dog that's made of bones. And I really enjoyed this book, if you couldn't tell. This was also one of my favorites. So I'm going to give that to Bone Dog from Nettle and Bone is our MVP of this quarter. I guess I didn't put this there, but if we have a MVP, we should have a least favorite P, right? And I gotta think about this one too. I guess Envy could be up there because I quite did not like him, you know? He just was a whiny little... This is another book that my friends don't... I feel bad because I really didn't like this book. But I'm going to say Addie LaRue from The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Me and her just don't click as people, you know? We just have very different outlooks on what a 300-year life would be like. I'm just going to leave it at that, because she's definitely someone that got on my nerves as I was reading her book. Least favorite P for sure, so we're gonna leave it at that. Fastest read. Fastest read is gonna go to What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. That book has 165 pages. I'm pretty sure I read it all in less than 5 hours. It's cute. I enjoyed it. It's supposed to be like a creepy... I don't think it's supposed to be horror. I have it right here. I'll show you the cover. It's supposed to be like a reimagining of the Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. I really enjoyed this. I thought that the main character in this is very interesting. I liked how they did the non-binary aspect of this in this book, but I wish it was longer. I think this, because it's such a short novel, it wasn't... I'm giving it, because I read this in March, so you haven't heard me talk about this. I enjoyed it. I like the main character, but the aspect of like the fall of the House of Usher wasn't so like pertinent in this book. And if you want a reimagining that is extremely well done, and I quite enjoyed it and very gruesome, there's a TV show on Netflix that I put a picture up here, which I really, liked. And that is also kind of like a reimagining of the fall of the House of Usher. by Edgar Allan Poe. Really good. And so, yeah, this was okay. Fast read, but not my favorite. And then slowest read, we're gonna have to give to House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas, because that book is 148 pages, and it definitely was the one that took me the longest to read because I spent quite a lot of days reading it. I think it was like a week, maybe 6 days. But it's also a very long book, so, and I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I did a video on it. I will link it up above if you're curious, but I did enjoy that book, even though I thought I wasn't going to. All right, and then the last two, which I thought would be fun to do, is best dressed and worst dressed, meaning best best cover and worst cover. This is going to be hard because there are a lot of covers that I really loved this quarter. I really like the cover of A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. I love the way that those covers were done. The old covers, not the new ones. I also read in March The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human, which I like that cover. It's kind of cute and cheeky. I love the cover of Throne of the Fallen, even though I didn't like the book. I like the cover of Bride by Allie Hazelwood. That is a cute cover. But I think ultimately, even though I'm unhauling the book, my favorite cover of this quarter, I'm gonna have to give it to Mr. Magic by Kirsten White. Look at this cover. First of all, it's pink, which like it just looks so good. But then you have this like creepy TV with like no picture on it, and it's just like melting, and it gives the foreshadowing about the book is really good because it's about a TV show and it's scary and stuff, and I just love the contrast between the TV and the pink background. I just love it. I love this cover. I love covers that like really catch your attention, and this is one of them, so I'm going to put that down. But yeah, I'm gonna say that that's my favorite cover. And then least favorite cover, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna give my least favorite cover to The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and I just hate this cover. I just hate it. It's just so generic for like a mystery book. I don't know, I just don't like the blue and the yellow and the letters and the keyhole and everything about it. I just think it's like the most boring cover you could have thought of for a mystery novel, and extremely generic. I know I'm like ripping this cover to shreds, and it's not even that bad. I just like, I don't know why I so passionately dislike this cover. I just like that it's so like generic. But we're gonna say The Housemaid. I think that's it for this video because I've talked quite enough already, and I hope you enjoyed this because I didn't want to do like a Q1 wrap up because that would be a very long video because I read a lot of books and I talk a lot, so I thought this would be funner. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Let me know in the comments some of the answers to these questions for the first quarter of the year. And I'm excited to read more. I have to pick up on my reading because I've been kind of slacking lately. But anyway, if you have any comments, anything to say, leave it down in the comments, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Goodbye.